Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Football's Family Podcast. I wanted to hop on just to, especially before the season starts, to kind of give you my 2 cents about who's going to make it to the playoffs, who's going to win their divisions, all that. Last year, I think I did okay. I picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, which makes a lot of sense. It was an easy pick. I get it. But I did pick my Titans to win the South, and they would have done that if it wasn't for the fact that they lost 7 games in a row and that Trevor Lawrence went nuts at the end of the year. So this year I've got my teams. I've got 14 teams. The 14 teams make it to the playoffs, and I'm going to give you my opinion on their seeding and who wins their divisions. Now, again, I'm going to be wrong probably most of these, but that's okay. This is what is fun about it. If you got any comments, send it to me. If you got any questions, send it to me. Follow me at Jeremy_McFarland on Twitter, Football's Family Podcast on Facebook. Like and subscribe on any podcaster of your choice, Stitcher and anything like that. Just subscribe and give me a rating so I can get better and learn to get better, but quickly. I'm going to give you my picks. The AFC, I have the first overall seed going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, this is easy. Unless something happens to Patrick Mahomes and if Travis Kelce doesn't come back, that probably could change. If Patrick Mahomes goes down, Kansas City goes down. They are so tied into Patty Mahomes that's the big thing. If they go down, I can see another team from the West jumping up and winning the West, but I don't see them going to the first overall seed. Number 2, I'm hearing a whole lot of stuff about this, about how bad Buffalo is going to be this year or how they have underperformed. Do not count out Buffalo. I see them, if they can come through the East and win the East, they will be high on this list. Will they be number 2? Maybe not. Maybe they'll be 3 or 4. But to me, Buffalo is the second seed in the AFC, and I think they win the East. That being said, you're going to hear the next 2 that'll come from the East. I picked 3 teams from the East to go to the playoffs. Number 3, Jacksonville. This hurts me. I feel the Titans can win the South. But I also feel like only one team from the South will make it to the playoffs this year. And to me, I don't see this changing anytime soon until the Titans can do something. And really, C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson are going to get handed to them this year. They're not on good teams. But I think both of those kids are going to be insane soon. I think Anthony Richardson has a high upside, and C.J. Stroud is awesome too. I don't think Houston or Indianapolis are going to have a great year. Tennessee could, but I think Jacksonville wins the South. It depends. If Tennessee and Jacksonville split the season, that could change some things, but I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Number 4, Cincinnati. We're still kind of wondering about what's going to happen with Joe Burrow. I think at this point, Cincinnati is the best team in the North, but man, it all depends on their quarterback. And by the way, pay the man. The Browns are not that good at paying people. Pay the man or watch him go. You have a franchise quarterback that has nearly gotten you to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. He got you one time, and he could have got it last year too. Pay the man. Cincinnati's number 4. Baltimore, number 5. Lamar Jackson, if he stays healthy, again, a lot of this deals with a quarterback. I get it. But Baltimore is one of the more well-rounded teams. And I hate saying that because it's Baltimore, but I'm aware of things. I could see things. Baltimore is that good. And Lamar Jackson is that awesome. Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite players out there. He is a cheat code out on the field. He's that good. Keep him healthy and watch what happens. the Cincinnati Baltimore pick could switch easy for me. Number 6, what difference does one player make? Aaron Rodgers makes that big of a difference. The Jets with their coach, Robert Saleh, is awesome. With their defense, that's awesome. With their offense, now with him and the updates that they made this year, could that make a big difference? I think they make the playoffs this year. I think they finish second in the AFC East. The third team would be the Miami Dolphins. If Tua doesn't get concussed 14 times this year, I think Tua takes the Dolphins to the playoffs. I think that they're number 7 in the AFC, but they make it to the playoffs. Now, notice the other teams that are playing that don't make it. It's going to be tight. It's going to be hard. The West is going to be hard because I think Russell Wilson comes back and Justin Herbert's going to be fine. I don't know about the Raiders. I think that Matt Jones is going to be okay, but I don't think he'll be the quarterback for long over for the Patriots. You look at the North, Cleveland, and Cleveland is not going to necessarily be that competitive overall. I don't know how you look at it in that sense. How does Cleveland rate with the other teams in there? And Pittsburgh is going to win. Is going to have a winning record as they always do, but I don't think they make the playoffs. I think that the two top teams in the AFC North are Cincinnati and Baltimore. Pittsburgh is up and coming, but they're not there yet. So who comes out of the AFC? Well, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, the easy bet, the easy money would be on Kansas City. But if you wanted to go for a long shot, it would either be Cincinnati or Buffalo. But if I put it down, it'd be Kansas City unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. Then I would look at the other teams and it'd be wide open. San Francisco, go over to the NFC. Here's where I had a problem. I have it written down here that I picked San Francisco to finish first in the NFC. I don't know if I agree with that now. I wrote that down thinking, I don't know if I agree with that. Although I think San Francisco is a sneaky pick to make it to the Super Bowl. But probably the team that should have been first in the NFC is my second team, and that's Philadelphia. Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the man. And then you have my boy, A.J. Brown. He should still be a Titan. A.J., we love you. We do. But I think Philadelphia, with all the Georgia players they got, that team is just loaded. I don't know who's going to beat them in the NFC. San Francisco would have a better chance, but I don't know if they can do it. Number 3, I picked Detroit to win the North. Once Aaron Rodgers left, it's wide open. Justin Fields is awesome. Chicago is getting better. The Vikings are the Vikings, but I think Detroit wins this year. I would love to see, of course, the game is tomorrow. I'm recording it on Wednesday. Recording this on Wednesday. The game's tomorrow that Detroit's playing Kansas City. If Detroit puts up a good fight, man, that team is going to be hard to beat this year. It's just going to be hard to beat. Number 4, I picked the Saints to win the South. The Falcons are going to put up a good fight. The Bucs will not. The Bucs will not put up a good fight. They're just not going to be that good this year. I think Caleb Williams, I think they're looking at getting him for the first overall pick. But I look and I see the Saints winning the South. I just don't know. The Falcons could do it, but I think the Saints are going to do it. Number 5, I picked the Vikings. I do believe in the Vikings. I think the Vikings are a better team than people give them credit for. They're not going to win 13 games this year. I just don't think they can do that. They're one-score games that they won. They went, I think, 11-0 last year. That's insane. It can't be duplicated. You just can't. I think their team is well-rounded. Justin Jefferson is a stud. And Kirk Cousins can get him the ball. That's what he has to do. Just get him the ball and get out of the way. I think they make the playoffs. I think the Seahawks make the playoffs. I think they are number 6, and I think they're going to do it because the Seahawks are a good, sneaky team. I like the Seahawks. Arizona is not making the playoffs, but I think Seattle will make the playoffs. But if you look at it also, number 7, I picked the Cowboys to make the playoffs, and I picked them to get just Philly's going to run away with the East if they stay healthy. I don't see the Giants making the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I just don't see them doing it because the other teams in the NFC. I picked Dallas to make the playoffs. Now, does that mean that I pick them to go more than one round? Probably not, but I do pick them to do it. So if you're looking at my list right now, I pick either. I say Kansas City makes it in the AFC, and again, it's going to be a toss up, but maybe Philly. Philly makes it in the NFC, and we have a rematch. And this time, there's not going to be a phantom holding penalty. And Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown win the Super Bowl. And my Philly friends out there, you guys are going to parade with the Lombardi. And I can say that you're welcome, that we gave you probably the best weapon in the NFL with AJ Brown. But Jalen Hurts, my goodness, I don't know if you get much better than that. Y'all paid him, and he deserved it. He deserved it. Thank y'all for listening. Let me know what I did right. Let me know what I did wrong. Thank you for listening to the Football's Family Podcast.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.